welcome. I'm Melinda Kinlami. Tonight, federal government obtains court order to proscribe the Islamic Movement in Nigeria, otherwise known as Shiites, as a terrorist group following recent violent and deadly protests by the group in the nation's capital, Abuja. IMN kicks against court order allowing its prescription, insisting its members are victims of brutality and not terrorists, as human rights lawyer Femi Falana describes the order as illegal. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo and President of Rwanda Paul Kagame explained their government's plans in driving growth at the Tony Elumelu Foundation Forum in Abuja. And 8 senior military officers to be charged in Sudan with crimes against humanity over alleged role in the killings of protesters on June the 3rd.
On Business News tonight, President of the AFDB and President of the Democratic Republic of Congo lead the campaign for stronger economic ties among Africans.
And on Sports News tonight, Lagos International Badminton Classics ends after 5 days of fun and excitement at the Molade Okoya Hall, the Taslim Balogun Stadium.
A new twist emerged today over the long-drawn battle between the federal government and members of the Islamic Movement in Nigeria, popularly known as Shiites, as the federal government obtained a court order proscribing the group and declaring them terrorists. A lawyer in the chamber of the Attorney General of the Federation confirmed that the Solicitor General, Mr. Dayo Akpata, obtained the ex parte order on behalf of the federal government on Friday. A vacation judge in the Federal High Court in Abuja, Justice Nkeoye Maha, who reportedly granted the order, also designated the activities of the Shiites in any part of the country as acts of terrorism and illegality. The court also restrains any person or group of persons from participating in any form of activities involving or concerning the group under any name or any platform. To complete the process, the court asked the Attorney General of the Federation to publish the order proscribing the respondent in the Official Gazette and 2 national dailies. While the Shiite spokesperson disagrees with that court order, insisting that the IMN cannot be described as a terrorist organization, as it has lost many of its members to attack by security operatives, but has not for once avenged their deaths. Mr. Ibrahim Musa maintains that the IMN and its members are the victims.
As regards the court order proscribing the Islamic movement in Nigeria, for now, the movement hasn't reached a decision. The leading members and lawyers are studying the court order, and very soon they will issue a way out for the movement. But we believe we are the victims of all that has been happening. So it is very unfortunate that a group that has not retaliated all the killings that it has suffered under the present Muhammadu Buhari administration, it will now be accused of being a terrorist group. Have you ever seen a terrorist group that 1,000 of its members have been killed and they haven't killed anybody? So it is absurd, we believe, for the federal government to take this step of proscribing the Islamic movement. We hope the international community will put more pressure on the government. Our major demand is for them to release our leader to go and look after his health. If they do this, all our agitations, especially in the streets of Abuja, will melt down. That's all that I can say for now.
And for the lawyer to the leader of the group, Mr. Femi Falana, the order is immoral and illegal. Mr. Falana believes that the action is opportunistic on the part of the Sunnis occupying public offices to use the state to liquidate the Shiites. The senior lawyer noted that the IMN was proscribed by the Kaduna state government in 2016, just like the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, was proscribed in 2017, yet the groups have continued to operate in defiance of the orders. He maintains that the justices of the Court of Appeal unanimously held that the rights of Nigerians to protest against the policies of government is part of the freedom of expression guaranteed by the Constitution. He therefore asked the government to withdraw the proscription order, insisting that it will not stand as the fundamental right of the Shiites to freedom of religion, as freedom of religion is constitutionally guaranteed. That prescription order may just be considered as an action that will perhaps settle the face-off between security operatives and the Shiites. While the federal government appears to be handling the matter differently, IMN considers the action as a grave injustice. Our next report takes us down memory lane on how it all started long before the prescription order was sought.
The Islamic movement in Nigeria may have gained prominence in 2015 after a clash with the convoy of the Chief of Army Staff. But in the actual sense, the group has been active since the 1990s, when its leader Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zakzaky began a vigorous campaign introducing the Shia doctrine of Islam to Nigerian Muslims and recruiting faithful as practiced in Iran. Some years later, this video surfaced in the social media, showing the group holding sessions of its own and parades which appeared military-like. But they were never known or seen to carry arms and ammunition in their operational base in Zaria, Kaduna State. This clash with the army during one of their processions seems to be their albatross. The aftermath changed the narrative, as the army reportedly descended on their base, burnt their houses, allegedly killed over 300 worshippers, including 3 sons of their leader, Sheikh El-Zakzaky, who himself was taken into custody. The allegations have not been denied by military and government authorities.
I want to convey to you, members of the press, that the Shiite leader, El-Zakzaky, is safe and in protective custody.
The Shiites have their ways, which may not be totally acceptable to everyone, but they believe they have a genuine cause to demand the release of their leader, Sheikh El-Zakzaky, and his wife, who have been in detention since 2015 despite a court order granting their release. Year after year, what started as a peaceful protest transformed into civil unrest, particularly in the nation's capital, Abuja. The group gained more strength, remained resolute and unified in their huge number. Their peaceful protests were soon met with stiff resistance from the police. And it even got worrisome after they attempted a forceful entry into the National Assembly. That bloody altercation, which left 4 policemen injured, and the ones that followed, marked the beginning of a new storyline in the series of clashes between the police and the Shiites. A more terrifying episode between the group and the police was recorded on Monday, July the 22nd. A deputy commissioner of police and a youth service corps member with Channels Television died during the incident. Then it became even more fearsome, with everyone asking government to do the needful, either by obeying a court order granting the release of Sheikh El-Zakzaky or going into a dialogue with the now restive group, who are insisting on continuing with the protests in disobedience of a restriction order.
Where an individual interest conflicts the public interest naturally prevails.
But the die seems cast. The government has made a pronouncement by securing a court injunction proscribing the Shiites. Whether this order for proscription will finally end the face-off between the IMN members and the government may be determined in coming days.